guys, my name's Sarah. I feel like I have to make a video today because I'm not wearing a t-shirt, I'm not wearing pajama shorts. So since I look halfway decent, I'm going to make a video about how I chose the college that I'm going to, how I got through the college process, and pretty much how I survived. So I applied to 12 colleges. That's a lot. All of my colleges were pretty much similar. They were state schools, pretty much the same acceptance rate. If I were to go back and do it again, I would apply to less schools and I would do more of a range, like some reaches, some safeties. I definitely had safeties. I didn't have that many reaches. I mean, I had like one or two, but they were just kind of like schools that were like a little bit harder to get into. I got into 10 of the 12 schools that I applied to. Since I had 10 choices, it was harder to choose between them, especially since they were so similar. This video is not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor me, hit me up. The website that I used to find colleges that would fit me was Niche. I don't know if it's called Niche or Niche, I don't know. I call it Niche, so you can look up a college and it'll give you its stats, it'll give you the acceptance rate, the number of students, it'll give you reviews on the college, it'll give you, it like grades certain aspects of the college, like safety, party scene, give it like an A, B, C, D grade. The students were writing the reviews and then like it would give you like the top 5 words to describe a student at this school. Another website I really used was Naviance, and I don't really know if you can use this if your school doesn't use it, but my school used it, and it had this really cool thing called College Super Match or College Smart Match or something like that. You would write in everything you wanted in a college, so like the location, you'd choose which states you were looking into, how big you want it to be, small, medium, large. Do you want it to be a big sports school? Do you want it to be a big Greek life school? Ask some pretty specific questions, so it really narrowed it down, and it would give you a whole list of colleges that it thought you would be interested in, and it was the most accurate out of all these college match websites that I've been on. I'll link both these websites in the description so that you can check them out and see if you can make a Naviance account without having your school be part of it. I don't really know. Another website that really helped was College Confidential. It's basically like forums, and you ask a question, you can type in a question, people will like respond to you. So for a while I was stuck between 2 schools, so I went on College Confidential and I asked like very specific questions, like this school versus this school, academics, this school versus this school, skiing, because that's like a big thing to me. I don't know. It's confidential, so it doesn't show your name or anything. And these people would write back, and they were actually really helpful in their response. And there's also a ton of forums that you can go on and read, which helps because if someone else has a question that's similar to yours, and sometimes people will put in College Confidential like their SAT grades, their ACT grades, like the grades they got in school, blah, 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 and then like a few schools, and people will write back like what they think their chances are of getting into those schools. I don't know how much I would rely on that, but I think it's a pretty cool thing. When I was originally starting my college process, started pretty early. I started doing the Common App, I think, over the summer before my junior year because I really wanted to get it over with. I started writing my essays over the summer too. I wrote a bunch of little paragraphs of a bunch of little ideas, and then I brought them all to the writing center at my school. Like the writing center at my school was a big help too. The guy there was great, and I gave him my ideas on paper, and he basically told me which one I should run with, how I should like elaborate on what in them. And if you have a writing center, you should definitely go to that. Or if you just have like a family member or a friend who's like a really good writer and they could edit it and look at it for you and tell you how to elaborate, but do not have a family member or a friend or a teacher or anybody write your essay for you, because college admissions people, like, they know if an adult wrote it versus like if a kid wrote it, and like some topics are just like, you didn't write that. It's also not fair to others, like if you have someone else write your application. That just makes no sense, because if you didn't write it and then you get into that school, like you didn't even get in. Like whoever wrote your essay got in. Like you didn't earn it. So I don't know. I don't know, just don't do that. Another thing that really helped me during my college process was to write out my resume on a Google Doc. I would write all my things down and then a little description of them. The descriptions are very important because you're gonna need a description of everything, and a lot of times you don't have that much room to fit the description in. So write something short and sweet that like makes sense. So write it in present tense. So if you work at a pizza place, you could say rolls out pizza dough instead of rolled out pizza dough. It's supposed to just flow better. You can just copy and paste it from there. A lot of schools have applications that aren't on the Common App. You're gonna have to write in your service so many times that you're not gonna wanna retype it out every single time. Another thing that helped me was there's this lady on Facebook who does live streams named Sarah Harbison. If I can find it, I'll link her too in the description. She does these live streams where people like actively ask her questions and she just answers them as she goes, and she gives some really good advice. And I really think you should check her out during your college process or before your college process, or have your parents check her out because she's also a big help to parents going through the process. You never want your parents doing any of this for you because it's your thing, it's your own college process. You want to go to the college of your dreams, so you have to get in by yourself. Back to my essay. I could probably recite my essay at this point. I reread, redid, moved around, changed little words on my essay so many times. I had so many of my friends, so many of my families shared on Google Doc, like changing little words, like this doesn't make sense, this makes sense, I love this has to change, like all that so much that I could recite my essay. The hardest part about the essay is trying to get it into that 250 words or 600 words or however many words the cutoff is for your school. If you're doing the Common App, I think it's 500. I had such a hard time fitting all my ideas into this small, like 2-page document. Something that I think is important when choosing your essay topic is that you're really passionate about it, so you're not going to get bored of writing it or bored of talking about it, because you will get sick of writing about it and talking about it, because once you choose it, you're really gonna like dig into that essay. What I ended up having to do to fit my essay into the word count limit was contractions. A lot of my words that in a normal essay, in a normal formal essay, I would write out like I would, but since I didn't have that many words and I didn't have that much room, I wrote I'd. Little things like that, it really does make a difference. The college process is definitely stressful, but if you're really on top of it and organized, then it's really not that bad. I think the most stressful part of my college process was actually after I sent all my applications in and I had to wait months before I heard back from any colleges. Also, when I was sending them in was also a little stressful because I had been working on this for so long and looking over it and having my family and friends look over it to make sure I didn't mess up anywhere. There's not one word or one piece of punctuation out of place, especially in my essay. When you finally send it in, you're like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And then you click send, and then you pay, and then you're done. And then you're like, now I have to wait. I applied to all 12 of my schools. That's a lie. Not all 12, but a few, because a few of them like didn't have early applications, but most of them, if I could, I applied early. There's a difference between early action and early decision. If you watch Sarah Harbison's live streams, she'll really go into detail and really probably explain it a lot better than I do. That early decision, also known as ED, is binding. If you go to a college and you end up falling in love with it and you know you want to go there, which did not happen to me, you could do ED. You apply a little bit earlier, and basically, like, if they accept you, like, that's where you're going. It's binding. I don't think that's a great idea because how do you know like you want to go there? I think it's a better idea to have options. Also, if you do ED, sometimes you miss out on financial aid opportunities. Early action is what I did. It's just sending in your application early, and sometimes you actually have more financial aid opportunities that way, and you also get your decision, like whether the college says yes, no, or maybe, gets back to you faster. If you apply early action, a college can defer you, which doesn't necessarily mean that you are denied, but they'll throw your application back into the pool of regular decision applicants who didn't apply early. They'll reevaluate you, and you could have another chance. Sometimes a college will waitlist you. This did not happen to me, so I don't know much about this, but if you're waitlisted, if they already took in the amount of kids that they could, like at capacity, like the amount of kids that they could accept, pretty much after May 1st. May 1st is the National College Decision Day. Like everyone has to make their decision by May 1st. Pretty much if they don't fill all their spots, like if people choose other colleges or they decide not to go there, they'll have spots open up and they'll take people off the wait list and accept them. Another big consideration for me was Greek life, because I do want to rush a sorority, but I didn't want it to be like the most prevalent thing on campus. Miami University in Ohio, Greek life was a huge part of their campus life. I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. I'm just thinking like, if I end up not liking Greek life, or if I don't get in or something, I want to make sure I can still have friends and I'll still have like a good time in college. Really, the way that I chose my college was visiting schools and going to accepted student stays. Accepted student stays were a huge factor to me. I did a lot of road trips, going on tours. That's the biggest thing. I applied to a lot of colleges far away from where I live, so it was a little more difficult to visit them. My sister applied to colleges that were very close to where we live, like within 4 hours. Her and my mom took every Wednesday of the summer before her junior year to go and look at a different college. That's not how it worked for me, because a lot of my colleges were plane rides away. What we did was spring break of my junior year, we went on a huge road trip and we saw a bunch of colleges. A lot of people say when you get onto the campus, you'll either feel like you can see yourself living there or you can't. I kept that in mind when I was looking at colleges, and I think it's semi-true. I knew right away when I went to look at Boston University that I did not want to be in the middle of a city. Pitt was kind of the same way. Some people want that in a college, but that wasn't for me, and I knew that right away when I went to those campuses. Also get a feel for if you want a big school or a small school. I wanted a really big school, and I knew this because when I was touring colleges with my sister, I really knew that I couldn't be on a small campus. My sister goes to a school with 2,000 students. That's smaller than my high school was. Like, I could never go to a school that small. That's just me. Some people, like my sister, a small school is perfect for her. She loves it. Most of the schools I was looking at, like Penn State, University of Colorado, Boulder, Ohio State, they all have like 40,000 kids, like huge schools, and that's what I really wanted. If you don't know what a FAFSA is, it is the federal application for student financial aid, I think. You just fill it out and you write out like your family income and like how much money you make. I just know that you have to fill it out on time, and it's very important for getting financial help. A big thing that I think colleges look for in applications is consistency. So if you played soccer, you write that on your resume that you played soccer freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. It'll look good to the colleges. Also, in classes, they like to see progress. So if you took standard level math course your freshman year and then you moved up to an honors level math course your sophomore year, they love seeing that. That's definitely better than having an honors course and then having to move down to a standards course. So if you're a freshman, if you're a sophomore, don't feel bad about taking a standard course. If you can move up the next year, that looks better to colleges than having to move down because you had too hard of a time in your honors class. So that's pretty much all I can think of. If you have any questions, just comment down below and I will respond to you. I love talking about this stuff. College is so exciting to me. I'm going in less than a month, which is just, I mean, I can't even fathom it yet. I'm just so... Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this helped you.